Greetings, and thank you for tuning in to Believe Radio, which is a 24 hour inspirational and gospel music show, which we have much more. However, go to Believe Radio website and you can see all of what we cover. The Eyes of the Conscious Soul with Sister B Mello brings to you every first Saturday of the month from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. The Cafe Le Bleu Lounge, where there are 15 to 45-minute segments called The Corner. Each corner has a blueprint that is unique of its own. So we always ask you to relax and vibe out to fireside chats and be inspired by affirmations and inspirational messages. And my co-host is Mr. Brandon Rosenery. Boy, tongue twister there. But we want to give a shout out to him for getting his master's. He's getting ready to go into Berkeley, California, into the school. So we are so grateful and thankful for him. However, the first part of the corner could be why she who believes takes off the mask and why I dream and the artist talk. The artist talk is where we showcase musicians, poets, singers, dancers, film producers, authors, comedians, gospel and R&B rappers from around the Bay Area to across the globe. They share their creative process and their lived experience. And then the second part of the corner could be why I dream. We highlight and honor the inventions and creative work of today's brilliant mind, along with geniuses from our past. We are preserving African American history and culture in order to keep our legacy alive. The third part of the corner could be She Who Believes Takes Off the Mask. This is where we hear from individuals sharing their personal testimonies to what the Lord has done and is doing in their lives, which are inspirational messages. Also, we are highlighting Golden Lights affirmations to impart healing medicine in the soil of brilliant minds today. The second Saturday of the month is the Medicine Hour with Mr. George Pearson. This is where we believe building a better tomorrow starts with us. Topics we cover: health issues and concerns, healthy eating habits, education, finance, and politics in the African American community. We believe taking care of our temple, mind, and spirit is essential to having mental wellness, healthy eating habits, and knowing that healthy thinking leads to a healthy way of living. Every third Saturday of the month is called the Medicine Hour. The education is the best medicine. Well, God is funny because before I start anything that I do, I have to say a prayer. He's like, you done forgot something. So that's why you're getting twisted up, girl. But it's all good. God, for you to get the glory out of all and everything that I do. Thank you. And thank you for being in control. So, he'll stop you in your tracks and make sure you do what you're supposed to do. So I have no problem with that. And I hope out there in our radio land that you can respect and understand where we're coming from with that too. We have to give homage and thankful and being grateful and thankful for what the Lord has done, and definitely honor our ancestors of what they've done for us. So every third Saturday of the month is Education is the Best Medicine, hosted by founder and producer, Mr. George Pearson. Education is the Best Medicine is a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization, which is community based, health educational advocacy based, and a resource based organization that uses public media, resources, radio, newspaper, and church community health fairs to provide health information and education. We believe vision is the art of seeing things yet unseen and bringing light to a very dark world. And every fourth Saturday of the month is the Lights Out, Straight Talk, Youth and Young Adult Radio Show with my co-host, the Doc, the Voice, and the Prince of Hearts. This is where we have real talk conversations with our youth and young adult, and they share what's happening in their lives. So we're grateful and thankful to what we do there. And then the fifth Saturday of the month is called the Voices That Care, and that's about bringing in individuals to talk about mental wellness and reentry. So I said that to say I'm grateful and thankful for being here. And we're asking that everybody take time out, love on yourself, love on your loved ones, and know that you make a difference in this world. And today, we're going to dig into and share the importance of healing through our pain, our hurt, and our disappointments. And I have a special guest in here with me today. I'm so grateful and thankful that my daughter and my sisters followed their mind and their spirit and God, and they were obedient to tap into this sister and her restaurant. So you're gonna hear more about what she does and who she is. And first of all, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. And thank you for being here. You're so very welcome. Can we hear you?
Can you?
Uh, Go ahead. Speak.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're so welcome. We're so grateful and thankful, as I said, that you are here with us on today. Say something again, sis.
I give God the glory for
There
being
we
here
go.
today. So, amen for that.
All right. We want to make sure that we got our sister being heard on today. But you know what? When the devil gets busy,
Yeah,
God said, keep pushing,
absolutely.
keep it moving.
Right.
And technical difficulties and all of that is going to occur.
Right.
But how do we push through?
Right.
And that's what we're doing today.
Right.
We're pushing through just life. And I'm so
Absolutely.
grateful and thankful that you are a newfound sister. That we found you, my sister, my daughter found you on the Instagram.
Mhm.
Yes. And then Jackie said, hey, because Sean just had the baby, so she can't come outside.
Right.
So Jackie was like, you know what? I'm going down here. I'm going to go and see what this sister is all about.
Right.
And give me the name of your restaurant.
Wise choice.
Wise choice. So with that, and say your name again, please.
Why Auntie Ahmed.
Why Auntie?
Why Auntie.
Why Auntie Ahmed?
So growing up, people couldn't pronounce my name
Why Auntie?
because it's a little difficult.
Yes.
It's an African name.
Okay.
And so growing up, a lot of my friends used to just call me Why.
Why?
Yeah.
And then that's the name of
And that's the name of the business.
All right.
Wise choice.
Wise choice.
But it has a ring to it because we want you to make a wise choice. Okay.
All right
So
now.
wise choice stands for wise choice.
I'm not mad, sister. And that's thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
But before we get started, I want you to give kudos out to your family.
Absolutely.
Because
if it wasn't for my kids, I wouldn't be here. I raised 5 kids, I birthed 4.
Oh.
And with all my kids, I was always in the kitchen cooking. And
Yes.
so it was my son who actually said, Mom, you should open up a restaurant and call it Wise Kitchen.
Wow.
And if you look back, I manifested this about maybe 10, 15 years ago, where I was literally in the kitchen and I was posting on Instagram, on Facebook, and I said, Wise Kitchen coming soon.
Watch
And I was
yourself.
just speaking. So I didn't
Yes.
even know it was going to come to the forefront.
Yes.
So look where we
But
are
God
now.
did.
But God did. Yes, He did.
And our ancestors did.
Absolutely.
And you were obedient to the call.
Yes.
So the name of your children?
So my oldest daughter is Nija.
Nija. Thank you, Nija, for your mommy. We love her.
Yes. My other daughter is Kyla.
Thank you, Kyla. We love your mommy.
My other son is Nasir.
Nasir, we love you too.
Samir.
Samir, we love you too.
And then my adopted daughter, Melanie.
Melanie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Melanie, we love you too. We thank you for allowing. And mom, give homage to mom.
So listen,
Even
my
if
mom,
she's
I had on a jacket.
heavily-
I had to take my jacket off because I wear her portrait on my sleeve for a reason.
What show
I'm so,
can they see?
I'm so
If
proud.
you know what, if you go to the, if you go over there, let them see.
'Cause
Show it in that camera right there. Yeah, that one, the tall one.
well, I think you can
Turn
see
side.
it.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
I wear her on my sleeve, and
Okay.
I'm proud. She definitely laid the format for me. She was always in the kitchen cooking. I
Wow.
always saw her cooking. I used to be in the kitchen with her.
Mm.
So I did not grow up here. I wasn't born here. I grew
Mhm.
up here, but I was born in Africa. So
Okay.
watching her cook multiple meals to
Yes.
stretch it out because
Mm.
she had to stretch out a meal, it taught me a lot. So I absolutely give homage to my mom. So yeah.
Is there any other aunties, family members, dad, whomever, family, the other folks, grandma, look, we
Right.
we going around the bell.
Right.
Look, they be like, oh, wait a minute. No, you wasn't on the radio.
Right.
And this,
And
they
then
done
get
the
to
up.
us. Yeah.
Okay.
No, my mom, she's no longer here but she's here
Right.
with us in spirit.
That's right.
But we were a very small, close-knit family.
Okay.
But yes, my mom was my everything. I do have siblings. So
Okay.
yeah.
Kudos out to the siblings too.
Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right.
So we're again want to thank you for tuning into and being a part of the Believe Radio, because this is what it's all about.
Right.
You manifested that.
I did.
You believed that it was going to happen, and God manifested and made it come true. And that's the beauty about having that personal relationship with Him. And I just want to say, it's crazy, not crazy that you said it's all in alignment.
Mhm.
How I created our nonprofit, and it's
Right.
called BH Brilliant Minds, and it means begin healing
Hmm.
brilliant minds. And my son, that's the reason why we have the name Brilliant Minds.
Mm.
My son, he knew I loved the little fortune cookie things, right?
Mm.
So one day, he was about 10. So he wrote on there, Brilliant Minds Think Alike.
Wow.
And God said, tuck that. And I didn't know He was going to use it for later. So
Mhm.
then when we came into thinking and creative, and God said, I want you to do this, 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 this. And I'm like, okay, what name could it be? And He said, you already have a name.
Right.
He said, remember when your son gave you? I was like, oh my God.
Mhm.
So what we're trying to say to our community and to our family, God will place things in your heart and in your spirit and your mind. At the moment, you may not know what it means,
Right.
but however, it's everything that He does is for a reason and for a
Absolutely.
purpose. And that's what I'm coming to find, even in my pain, even in my hurt, even in my disappointment, in which this is what the topic is about today,
Right.
is the importance of healing through your hurt, pain, and your disappointment. So, and it's crazy because in that time when He wrote that,
Mhm.
I was hurt.
Mm.
And but I'm glad that my spirit made me write it down.
Right.
Because if I would have stayed there and not, even though I was hurting and still didn't have an ear to say, you know what, let me just write it down anyway,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have. So we created, well, we got the nonprofit 2003.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
you know, that many years ago. And it's
Yeah.
crazy how if you just be obedient, if you just be obedient,
Yes.
and it's like a cliche, or, you know, some people, yeah. But no,
No.
it's the God honest truth.
It is.
So with that, you growing up, and share what part of Oakland or Berkeley that you
So-
come from.
I grew up in West Oakland.
West Oakland. Okay.
West Oakland, the hardest place to, I think, you can grow in, because it's very challenging. It's very
Mhm.
small, but I definitely grew up in West Oakland all my life. The moment I had a daughter, I was like, I got to get out of Oakland.
Right,
period.
right.
You know, I got married. I
Mhm.
had children.
Mhm.
I raised my kids in San Leandro, outside of Oakland.
Right.
Ironically, God wanted me to come back to Oakland. Okay, because the restaurant that I have is in downtown Oakland. So
Right.
Jacqueline, you might as well call it West Oakland.
And give them the address and how they can
300
contact
Broadway.
you. 300 Broadway. And
we
we know
Jacqueline
we'll go back to that 3.
Let me tell you,
We'll
I've
go
been
back to
talking about that 3 for the last couple of days.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you prophesied to me, which you
Oh
don't know.
my God.
You spoke to my entire spirit. I
Mm.
don't want to get emotional.
No, well, we'll be, look,
But-
our lashes and everything to become.
But
But this is what we're
God
here
didn't
for.
make a mistake by introducing
Please share
us.
whatever God tells you to
Yeah,
share.
absolutely.
This
I
is
will.
what it's
And
about.
I just feel like you coming into my life, or coming into that time, was just everything. It
Mm.
gave me reassurance. It gave me continual hope, like as if God, you know, you sometimes think that God is talking to you. Sometimes you feel like you can't hear Him. Well, He
Right.
physically sent you down there and Jackie to actually speak to me. You guys prayed over me, and it just meant everything to me. I just want you to know that.
Oh my God. We love you, and
Yeah.
we're grateful for the obedience. And
Yeah.
you don't, this is what I told my family I think 2 years ago. I say, I share with them at Christmas. I was sharing is that be intentional.
Right.
And not only that, every day that you walk out your house
Mhm.
is for a reason.
Absolutely.
God don't make mistakes.
Mm-mm.
Good, bad, ugly, challenging
Mhm.
is for something.
Right.
And it's like, how could he, you know, the devil uses too. And
Yeah.
sometimes we human, we go there and things happen.
Right.
However, we know we ain't giving him the glory. We're going to give God the ultimate glory
Absolutely.
out of no matter what happens in our day. Because
Right.
sometimes we slip, sometimes things
Yeah.
happen.
Right.
Sometimes we say things, sometimes we, you know, in moments, but that's a part of life.
Right.
And when we can, like, again, get over the hurt and the pain,
Right.
you know, it's a part. So, and we'll go back in the hurt part
Mhm.
later. But I'm so grateful that Jackie was obedient and
Yeah.
Sean was obedient to find you.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and then here it is again, how God set that up.
Yes.
I can't, it's just like you when he does it, nobody but him that
made it
has.
happen. Yes, that made it
Go
happen.
ahead.
Absolutely. And I believe that.
Yeah.
So we are in a situation where
Mhm,
the
mhm.
restaurant has been struggling a little bit because
Yeah.
of the crimes that's going on down there.
Right.
But again, God has always spoken
Ooh.
to me and told me to
Mhm.
be patient and it's
Yes.
going to work itself out. And it
Yes.
has. And so for you guys to come down there and support me and even just lay this platform for me to come speak was nothing but God. Because I don't know what made you want to come down there and interview little old me. You know what I mean?
Little old you is little old me, and we
know?
we together. But
Yeah.
and I'm glad you said that because I tell people all the time, and I know this is my responsibility, and I know this is my duty.
Right.
My platform is not my platform.
Right.
God said I created that platform for you, for others,
Right.
and I know this.
Right.
So it's no brainer for me.
Mhm.
It's like when He asks me to do something, I have to do it.
Right. Right.
And because, and like you just said, you don't know if He's talking to you or not.
Mhm.
In seasons in our lives, sometimes He's like, okay, I'm here,
Mhm.
but I just need you to know that I'm here.
Right.
I may not be speaking right now,
Right.
but however, I still want you to move forward.
Mhm.
And in those seasons of not hearing Him, but still pushing and still moving,
Mhm.
but He spoke to you, spoke to us, and then the alignment came.
Just came.
It's like
Right.
blows my mind.
It blows mine too.
Blows my mind.
Every time.
Man, I
Every
tell you.
time.
And it was not only a pleasure meeting you, it was a pleasure hearing the story
Oh yeah.
behind, and we're going to walk through that.
Okay.
But one of the stories that we loved about what you were saying is how you want to teach the young folks, and that's what we do too.
Right.
That's a Freedom School with the Homies Empowerment.
Right.
Everybody that I'm around, we're about definitely making sure that our youth and know that they are somebody, and that there's a form of respect and how we have to move in this world, even though society says something different and
Right.
tries to set them up
Right.
to know that they're not supposed to be professional. But
Right.
yes, you do. There's
Right.
certain code switching in certain things.
Absolutely.
And I love what you were saying, that
Yeah,
when
it's a family owned business.
Yes.
Let's just go there. I started
Okay.
cooking from home,
Yes.
and I have tried to do nothing but instill that in my children to
Mhm.
let them know that you don't have to settle. But at the end of the day, you want to try to progress and you want to do better for yourself. And
Yes.
so I've done that all my life with my kids.
Come on.
My oldest is 23, and as you know, she's the manager of the restaurant.
She's in her role, but you know what?
She's in her role.
Go ahead.
She's learning.
And she's learning.
She's learning. And God is working through things a lot.
Yes.
He's working it out with
Yes.
her and with us. And our relationship has gotten a lot stronger and better
Mhm.
since then. So,
And I love that you said, because we come from family restaurant too.
right.
So the bakery of our parents been on in 3rd Street in the Bayview district on that block for over 50 years.
Hmm.
So, and still owning the property, praise the Lord.
Exactly.
Because of the Lord.
Right.
But however, our father taught us it didn't matter whoever walked in those bakery doors,
Mhm.
if they had a penny to
Mhm.
billions of dollars, you better
Right.
treat them all the same,
Equally.
equally.
Yes.
And that's what we grew up with, that
Mhm.
I guess that's a part of, I didn't have to, well, in a sense, worry about, I knew no one was better than me,
Right.
but I always wanted to have friends.
Right.
But I was a loner. I was different. I was kind of
Mhm.
weird to people.
Mhm.
But I know now why my weirdness, as I gotten older,
Right.
what the weirdness was about, because God said, I have something for you to do.
Mhm.
You have to be unique.
And
You have to
different.
be and different.
Okay.
So you can't be like everybody else,
You can't.
especially what I'm trying to do with you, with
Right.
your life.
Right.
So, but at moments in our times, you want to grow up
And fit in.
And
Mhm.
And I was just sharing with Jackie yesterday, I was saying, it was crazy because growing up in school, I always wanted the guys to have me as the girlfriend, but it was
Mhm.
more so as a sister.
Right.
And I didn't really understand at the time that they were protecting me and they were guiding me,
Mhm.
because it was like, okay, some will do this, but you ain't about to do that.
Right.
So, but I didn't know it at the time, but now I'm like, ooh, thank you, God,
Right. For protection.
for protection.
Yes, ma'am.
So you being able to teach your family, that's where we come from,
Mhm.
and then we had our business. My sisters had Daughters of Wendy's Cheesecake Bakery in Jack London Village. So right down the street from where you are now,
Ironically.
ironically.
Yeah.
So it's like to
Look at
come
God.
from, look at God, to come from ownership and family business is so important. And I wish that our community can have more of us in our own space, as though Chinatown, you have an
Right.
African town, you got
Right.
Japantown in San Francisco. There's, it is important for us to make sure that we are present too.
Right.
For when our children come through, they feel a sense of ownership and, in our culture.
Listen, I think the biggest downfall that we have in our
Mm,
African American culture
mhm.
is that we don't support one another.
All right, now let's
It's
go.
almost like a crab in a bucket type
Let's
of
go.
situation.
And we
where it
talked about
doesn't-
that.
And it doesn't have to be.
Mhm.
So if we were to all stick together and support one another, we would be so much stronger and so much bigger as a unit.
Mhm.
We would have our own, like a Chinatown,
Yes.
or, so on and so forth. But it's always seems it comes off as competition when it shouldn't be.
And it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
People think I'm crazy because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't believe in competition.
Yeah, no.
I believe in everybody has their unique
Right.
way
Right.
and their unique lane. God
Right.
said, he didn't even make the flowers all the same.
Right.
Neither one of our fingerprints are the same.
No, none.
And it's like, why do we have that crab in a bucket mentality? And
Yeah.
it's like, even with grants and
Right.
things like that,
Yeah.
it's like they want to have us fight.
Yes.
And it's like, it's not about that. How about this? You are creative in your space.
Mhm.
That's your lane. That's what the
Mhm.
ancestors chose for you to do. And the vice versa over here. I don't have to disrespect your business or what you're doing
Right.
to feel and to get more. Or that's crazy.
It is. And I think what we lack too is a lot of these restaurants, if you've noticed,
Mm.
they close down. Once the grandmothers or the moms pass away, the children don't feel like they want to carry on the tradition.
Yes.
So for me, I instill that in my kids. If something
Mhm.
were to happen to me today, tomorrow,
Mhm.
you keep this going. This is a
Mhm.
tradition. I've laid the foundation for you guys to keep going.
Yes.
That's what we're lacking in our Black American, African
That's
American
right.
community. Once they pass, grandma's gone, everything's gone. Grandma passed, house is gone. Like there's
Yeah.
no way of us keeping it going as it should. You know what I mean? We're not building generational wealth like they used to back in the day.
Come on.
We used to pass things on.
Come
Now it's
on.
more competitive. Now it's like, oh well, grandma's gone, so we gonna
And
sell
we
the
want the
house.
money.
Yeah, we want the money. We're not gonna keep the restaurants going. So there's a lack.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just want to instill that in my children, and I want to keep it going.
Yeah.
We just need to have more of that.
And to guide right into a lot of it is generational pain and trauma.
Mhm.
And that's what we were talking about today, the importance of healing through our hurt, pain, and disappointments and our
Absolutely.
traumas and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I'm a firm believer is that I went through it for a reason.
Mhm.
And when me going through that for that reason was for somebody else that's going through that same situation, that I can speak to them
Right.
and encourage them
Right.
and motivate them.
Right.
And that's what I've been. I hope and pray. They call me a community healer,
Mhm.
and all of that, Sister B, Miss B, Miss Howard, all of that, the things that I hope and pray that my legacy
Right.
that I'm leaving, like my parents did,
Mhm.
is how do you respect and lift others up? Not only that, even if there was a disappointment, how do you move through it?
Right.
How do you just go ahead?
So for starters, I was in a relationship.
Mhm,
We
mhm.
had a business.
Yes.
We started because this was a dream of mine to
Yeah.
have a restaurant. So we did it together. I'm not
Mhm.
here to put his name out
No.
there or put the business out there. I wish him nothing but the best.
Okay.
However, what I can say is God spoke to me and told me
Yes.
to leave that situation because it was very volatile.
Mhm.
So once I left that situation, I did go through a dark space in my life.
Yeah.
It was very painful. I was
Mhm,
hurt.
mhm,
I was disappointed. But when I followed what God put in my
Yes.
heart,
Yes.
I went ahead and I started something.
Mm.
And He has elevated me so much and so far that I never thought that I would go as far as I've went.
Yes.
And what I say all the time to not only my children, but anybody who's watching, who's
Come
listening, what's
on.
for you is for you. Do not settle. What God has put in your heart, He is going to follow it through. And you just got to follow the steps because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, we're not on our time. We're on His
No.
time. We're on His time. And so for so long, I used to just, get so depressed about
Yeah.
like where I was in my age, and I have my
Mhm.
children, and I
Mhm.
wasn't where I wanted to be successfully.
Mhm.
Social media was a very downfall
yeah.
because we get on social media, we look
And
at
hurt each other.
we hurt each other, but we look at everybody else's life. You say,
Oh, my
"Oh
God.
man, I should be here and I should be doing this,"
No.
but that's not what God has in store for you.
Exactly.
Your walk is your walk.
Ooh, come
and
on
what
now.
God has for you is for you, and I'm
Come
gonna
on.
stand on that.
Come on.
I stand on that firmly.
Come on.
Through my worst pain pain, through the worst pains of my life, is where I gained the most success.
Woo,
Which is so
me too.
cliche,
Yes.
because you like, well, how did that happen?
Mhm.
I even lost my mother through COVID. We were all sitting here wondering what we was gonna do.
Right.
And God spoke to me, got that stimulus money, and he said, "Go figure it out. You gonna make this happen." I
Come
could have
on.
went shopping. I could have did whatever I wanted to do, take my kids somewhere, but no,
Let's
I
go.
took that stimulus money and it came at a perfect time. I told you the story.
Yes, tell me this. You can tell if you want.
So the story was crazy.
This is about you.
I mean, but the story is really, I mean, it gives me chills when I think about it. I was cooking from home for a whole year.
Yes.
I wanted to start doing pop-ups at a restaurant. I called a good friend of mine, Smoking Woods. Shout out James.
Shout out James. Thank you, Mr. James.
So I wanted to work at his kitchen, and he said, "You know what? I have someone in my kitchen already, but you should go talk to James Daly at halftime." And I said, okay, I called James and he said, bring me some food. They're both named James, by the way.
Oh.
And so James said, bring me a sample of whatever you got, what you sell. And so I brought it to him. He tasted it. That was like on a Tuesday. He said, it tastes good. If your chicken and your fried food could taste as good as this, because I brought him some crab and noodles. Said, if it tastes anything like this, you good to go. He said, come start. Can you start on Thursday? That was a Tuesday. My son's birthday was May 14th. That was the 14th that he wanted me to start. At that moment, I had to think to myself, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I agreed to start. I didn't have the money.
Right.
On that Wednesday, God is my witness. I cannot
I
make
believe
this
you.
up.
I believe
I
you.
cannot make this up. A stimulus hit my account. I had all that money and I was like, oh, Lord Jesus. And I just literally got on my knees and I cried and I just shouted and I said, Jesus, thank you.
Yes.
I went to that store. I shopped. I got what I needed to do. I supplied that kitchen. I was working on the 14th, which is my son's birthday.
Wow.
That was of 2021.
Wow.
Here we are, 2023. And I just can't even explain to you the progression and how far I've come. I worked with him for an entire year. We moved since then. There were some incidents that happened. But he was already moving anyway.
Right.
And he told me, when I move, I want you to come with me.
Wow.
What a blessing.
See, that's a blessing.
Because he didn't have to take me with him. He could have took anyone else.
Absolutely.
And I was like, well, okay. Well, is my name going to be on the building?
Right.
And he said, why not?
Wow.
So that's where you got Halftime featuring Wise Choice, because I wanted to make sure that my presence was felt, but not only did I, but God made sure, because he put it in his heart to put me in alignment, because he didn't have to. It was his building. Okay. But he gave me a whole platform. So now I have a dine-in restaurant where people could come in and I have interpersonal conversations with them, and it's just such a blessing. So for me to have elevated from cooking from home.
Come on. Okay, it can be done.
It can be done. To being in the back of a kitchen on 14th Street. To being in the front line on 300 Broadway.
Look how God, but you know what? The beautiful thing about what he did and how he had that progress is that you were willing to be in the back.
Absolutely.
You hear me?
Absolutely.
And then, and this is what we're trying to get our families and community to understand. Sometimes you have to walk, you have to crawl before you can walk.
Absolutely.
And that's the process of a baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
So life is, to me, the cycle of life is the same.
It is.
It's the same. Just as when you said the birth of a baby, the baby has to go through the process. And what does he say? He give you milk when you're a babe. He give you food when you are maturing. So as we mature in life and as we go through our hurt and our pain, we're now looking at it in a different perspective. Absolutely. It's not allowing that pain and that hurt. It's gonna grab you. Let me not say. It's gonna grab you.
Yes, it is.
It's gonna hurt you.
Yes,
it's gonna hold you down.
Yes.
But it's gonna take you to encourage yourself.
Yep.
Be around people that's like-minded, spirit-minded, in the whole nine.
Right.
And God is gonna move like never before.
Right.
And he's already moving in that pain.
Right.
And with that, that's why we have this program. You're on the corner of the Cafe Le Bleu Lounge. She who believes takes off the mask. And God says people need to hear the real.
Right.
In order to say, oh my God, if that person can do it, then I can do it too.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's not my dad, our father never taught us to be phony.
Right.
In our household, it was always straight real, straight talk, straight real. And if we fought each other, we got our behinds towed.
I'm sure.
And we couldn't. That's why we're still close today. And people think it's like, some people think it's, is that a facade? But no.
Right.
Now folks know, oh no, it's real.
Right.
Because we would get They didn't understand
No.
how, and we got told he didn't play that.
No.
He did not play those games. And if we of course, Jackie always said like this. Sometimes we agree to disagree.
Mhm.
You go in your corner, and when you ready to come back out and talk, then that's what. But that's how we've done it. Through I'm 59, she's 58, Melody's 57.
Mhm.
Our baby sister passed away with pancreas cancer. That's
Mhm.
Wendy. She would have
Sorry to hear
been.
that.
It's okay. Thank you.
I love your unit base. You guys are so tight. I love
Thank
that
you.
too, by the way. That
Oh.
just lets you know your family, that your mom or your dad instilled something good. And that's what I always tell my kids. You
My
guys can
God.
argue, you can bicker, but as long as you guys can come back together and figure it out, that's all that matters, because you got to be your sister's keeper. You
Yeah.
gotta
Come
stick
on now.
together.
Let's go.
You got to stick together.
Let's go.
Okay, because what the devil wants is divine. He wants to separate.
Woo.
He wants to steal, kill,
Kill and destroy. Yes.
So if you let that happen, and for you guys to be as old as older than, because
Yeah.
you guys are older than me, it's like you're my big sister.
You might right,
You know,
y'all.
you're
Look,
like my big sister. So
and we are.
I'm inspired by the way you guys
Mm.
interact with each other. I watched you guys when
Aw.
you guys came into the restaurant, and I'm just so inspired, and I
Aw.
admire that. And I even told my kids, I told my daughter, I said, look at that, So no matter how upset you get with your siblings, come back.
Yeah.
Like you said, go take a break,
Yeah.
figure it out.
And figure it out.
Figure
And
it out.
that's again where, to our audience, again, we want to thank you for tuning in to Believe Radio. We just got excited and get moving. But however, you're on Believe Radio, which is a 24-hour inspirational and gospel music station, amongst other things. You can tune into the Eyes of the Conscience Soul every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. We have the Cafe Le Bleu Lounge. On the Cafe Le Bleu Lounge, Artist Talk, Why I Dream, and She Who Believes Takes Off the Mask. Every second Saturday, we have the Medicine Hour with Mr. George Pearson. And then every third Saturday of the month, we have the Education is the Best Medicine. Every fourth Saturday, we have the Lights Out Straight Talk Youth and Young Adult Radio Show. And then the fifth Saturday of the month, we have Voices That Care. And like I said, that's something new that we're adding, but we definitely want to thank our sponsors, and that's Elevate Gospel Ministries. That's Pastor Larry Austin, Barbara Howard, Miss Howard Consulting, BH Brilliant Minds Project, Inc., and you, our listeners. We are thankful and grateful to you tuning in to us and allowing us to bring these stories and sharing our hearts and our souls and our minds and lifting others up, because that's, to me, that's what the ancestors says to do.
Absolutely.
And folks know me, it's crazy. Brother Cesar, we started a freedom school, the Homies Empowerment. When you got to get the opportunity, check it out. Go on Homeless Empowerment, see how you can support, how you can be a part of the vibe. I had them last week, but it's about us uplifting our community, and we all knowing that, sometimes we fought against our purpose, but alignment will bring you right back around, because you didn't at the time know, like we said earlier, why you're here, what you're here for, but start tuning in. You gotta tune in. They have to tune in and believe. We on Believe Radio, and it's crazy how we started. I started an underground radio in San Francisco, BVHP Radio. So I went from that to over to San Francisco to Mr. and Mrs. Woods on the international More Public Radio International.org. So they had internet, they had AM, FM, and then they end up, getting elderly. So they end up bringing up another sister. Her name was Yolanda Littles. So she started Yale Radio, then went to Yale Radio, and now here at Believe Radio.
Wow.
So God is doing his thing. And I've been doing underground radio and radio for over 25 years.
Wow.
I would say maybe 30 now, 25 years, 30. Yeah. So it's, I try to stay focused in knowing that my life is not about me anymore. It's about others. But I get to enjoy life because I am serving and helping and inspiring and encouraging others.
And that's where your blessings come from.
Come on, sis, let's go.
You can't keep it all to yourself.
Come on.
And that's why I said there's enough money for everyone to make. It shouldn't be a crabs in a bucket type mentality. So it's enough to go around,
Mhm.
and we just stick together.
Yes.
And like I believe it wholly with every bit of my fiber of my being that the more
Yes.
you support and bless others, the more you are blessed.
That's right.
So I've always been a giving person. Even
Us
when I
too.
didn't have it, I would give.
My father give
And
you a shirt off his back.
yeah, that was me. If anybody knows me, knows that's what I am. I am very stern. I do have a very,
He was too.
very serious, demeanor about myself. I mean no harm. I just don't like to play any games. But at the end of the day, what God puts in my heart, I'm gonna always fulfill that vision or whatever it is that He wants me to do. So again, your blessings come from blessing others.
That's right. Always. Always,
So-
always. Again, we want to thank you for tuning in and being a part of the corner, the Cafe Le Bleu Lounge, hosted by Miss Barbara Howard, aka Sister B Mello. I'm a spoken word artist too, so I got the name, and that's back in San Francisco for Maestro Bryant. I used to be with the hieroglyphics. So Maestro came into the bakery one day, and he said, "Have you ever thought of doing poetry?" Because he was listening to my voice, and I was like, "No." And he says, "I want you to come to this church, and I want you to write up a spoken word piece, and I want you, and I think I know what I'm gonna call you." And I was like, "Okay." He said, "Sister Be Mellow."
Okay.
And I'm like, "No," he said, "Be Mellow." And then I added, Sister Be Mellow. And I'm like, "Okay." And that's how I got my name. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But there it is again, in alignment with being around and being at the right place at the right time, and people being obedient and open.
Absolutely.
Being open, not crabs in a bucket. It's like, oh, I see this sister have this. Maybe she can, let me just ask, or bring you to that platform. And him bringing me to the platform led me to doing the radio. And then here I am.
Right.
Just by him.
And opening the doors for everyone else.
Open it. Oh, girl.
Yeah.
Open it.
And that's what I'm saying. Your blessings will come from blessing others. So you've come as far as you've come because you've helped others, I'm sure.
Wow.
God He knows what He's doing. He makes no mistakes. So,
and I love
thank you for that.
You are so
thank
welcome.
You for that.
And I've done a lot of, we done a lot of work in West Oakland. So that's where we have the Juneteenth. We going, this year would be our 17th year going on in next year. However, and then how I got that started was Pastor Larry, the one that is a sponsor for the Eyes of the Conscience Soul. So I used to work at the Urban Services YMCA in the West.
Wow.
And it's crazy how that happened. I'll tell that quick story, and then I'll come back in, because this is about you. It's not about me. But I want to show folks how God works. I'm driving down the street in West Oakland one day, and I said, I would like to work over there. And then I just passed on by. Went to church on Sunday. The young lady, I didn't know she worked there. She was a member at the church. And I spoke, and I said something about the West Oakland Youth, and her name was Malaya. Malaya said, "Miss B, I work there." I'm like, "You work?" And she said, "I can introduce you to Brother Kwame. And he's over in Africa right now, open up his business, the whole nine, honey girl. Wait a minute."
Okay.
So he said, introduced me to him, and then he introduced me to AD, which opened up Kingston 11. So AD was my supervisor. Pastor Larry was the ED over that particular branch. Wow. And then Homies Empowerment, Brother Cesar was over the in the East. So that's how relationships with him.
Everything just came.
Come in circle. So with the Juneteenth, I told Pastor Larry, I said, I want to do something for our community, and I want to give an event, and I want to do a Juneteenth. He said, "Sister B, what you need?" Got the stuff, got the funds, did it,
just like that. Started
it, and it started from there. And it's like, and now we had 17 years.
Right.
But it's called God. My father always told me, your community, you make sure you do whatever you could do for your community. And it's like that community, to me, that's your signature. That's your ownership. I want you to own that.
Right.
It's not we just the vessel, and we are about legacy. And my dad was like, that's important. So that's a part about that community having a legacy. And not the crab, like you said, the crab in the bucket.
Right.
No, God will give everybody a vision to what He wants them to do, and just follow it.
That's it.
And that, again, pushing through our hurt, our pain, and our disappointments.
Mhm.
Because disappointment in life, and I'm quite sure you have many.
Absolutely.
Can you share one?
I mean,
You already shared, but if you,
yeah, a lot.
you know,
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had situations where I've, had fallen out with family members.
Come
you
on,
know, of
let's keep
lack of
this real.
support, right?
Keep this
Of
real.
lack of support, because at the end of the day, you feel like, okay, here I am trying to establish a business, and you expect your friends, your family to support you the most.
Come on.
And they don't,
Mhm,
But when I
mhm.
was cooking for free,
Oh.
and they was coming over to eat, it was all good and dandy. But the moment I, started having boundaries, and hey, you know what? No, this is what we're doing. So that was a disappointment for me in
Yeah.
itself. You know what I mean? So I get disappointed in our own community because we don't support one another as much as we do. I make a very conscious decision when I go out to eat. A lot of the times I try to support Black businesses.
Mhm.
I don't try to hold them accountable for a lot of their, lack thereof. They
That's
just
right.
don't know. But at the end of the day, I try to keep my money with our people. And that's
Right.
just how it's supposed to be. I think
That's
if we
right.
all thought like that, we would, again, progress and, be further than we are. Losing my mother was the most, that was the worst pain of my life. Honestly,
Yeah,
I still
yeah.
feel like it's a empty hole in my
Yeah.
heart.
And it's
but
crazy. I
with
have
her-
mommy right here.
Yeah, I know we were talking
Yeah,
about
we
it.
did. We
I
did.
love
You on your
Silver, but my
shoulder,
foot-
and mine is right here too.
Yes. Was the worst pain of my life. I've never experienced that type of pain in my life.
Yeah.
But through all that pain, I was able to push through.
Yes.
Well, people didn't know I would be in the back of the kitchen.
Who crying, girl? Come on
I
now.
would
Let's
literally
keep this
have
real.
A moment, I would have a vision of her, and I would
Yes.
just bust down crying. Then I would come out and just, try to greet the
My,
customers with
my.
the best foot forward and
Right.
try to still do the work that I know I'm supposed to.
That's right.
She gives me strength.
Come on.
I've seen her endure so much.
Ooh.
My mom raised 5 children. She came out here, raised us on her own, and she did an amazing job. You know, not everyone is going to be perfect, but at the end of the day, she did what she could.
That's right.
She instilled in us what she could, and
That's
she did
right.
an amazing job. I'm beyond proud of her. And through that pain and disappointment, because I was angry. I was angry at the world.
Come on. Let's
angry.
go. Let's go.
Angry. I was mad. I was just so upset and disappointed, but where would that have gotten me? Nowhere. So I took all that anger, I took all that pain, and I put it into my food.
That's right.
Not
That's
saying
right.
I cook with anger.
No, but
I
the love. The love is there.
I find therapy in cooking. So it's therapeutic for me. When I'm in the kitchen and I have a lot on my mind, I'll just get in there and I'll start cooking. This is one of the reasons why we do have a regular menu. We have a special menu.
Yes.
The special menu is special to me because it gives me a time to go in there and really cook from my soul.
Come on, let's go, girlfriend.
Food.
You on the eyes of the conscience,
Okay.
so let's go.
Yeah, the soul food is where my heart is, and
Yes.
so I give different options. So people are like, so they started calling it the secret menu, and we call it the daily menu.
That's right.
Because it's just something. No one wants to come to a restaurant and eat the same old stuff every day. Let's
That's
just be honest. And as a consumer and as an entrepreneur, you want customers to keep coming back.
That's right.
And so they're not gonna keep coming back for the same old stuff.
Right,
You gotta
right.
give them something new.
That's right.
So I took all that pain, like I said, and I just put it into my food, and therapy is in cooking.
Yes.
I just find it, healing.
That's right.
And so I heal through that. And I'm showing my kids that.
Yes.
Because my kids see they go through pain. I mean,
Yes.
I don't care how old you are. You could be 5.
Right.
But in our community, we were told not to be seen.
Come on.
And not to be seen, not to
Not
be
be
heard.
heard.
You can't really express how you feel. Well, I've tried to change that dynamics in my family.
That's
so
right. And
I
you
always
are.
ask my kids, how are you? What's going on? Let's talk about it. If something is wrong, I'm not always perfect, but let's talk it out, and let's find a therapeutic measures of how you want to deal
That's
with
right.
the pain. Stop suppressing it. I think we deal with that a lot in our African American community.
Yeah.
We suppress a lot of our
That's
feelings. We sweep it under the rug, and then it erupts somehow, some way.
And that's what's happening in our community today.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
And
not having, unfortunately, not having someone to even like walk you through that. Navigate. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, is like when I see a lot of people, even when they're out and having at the restaurant, they're still on their phones. I'm like, what about conversation?
Yes.
What about, again, how do your interaction?
Yes.
How were you today? And that was the thing with myself and my kids. Oh, we talk.
Yeah.
We talk about everything.
Yes.
And they know everything about me, other than some, of course, some things.
Yeah.
But however, my kids grew with me.
Yeah.
They were a part of the hurt, the pain, the disappointment.
Right.
And they seen me push.
Right.
And they seen me believe in God.
Absolutely.
And they see me move. I don't disrespect nobody else's who they believes in and they believes, but I know
right.
who and the time of need came to my aid.
Mhm.
When I asked him, I was asked God, I said, if you real, you need to show me you real. And I said it just like that.
Really?
And he started talking, and I thought at the moment I was getting high. So I thought I was like, wait a minute. You know, I'm like, well, wait. But, and it's a true story. And a lot of people that know me know the story. And it's like, no, he said, do this.
Right.
And I did this, and I'm here today.
Amen.
You hear me?
Amen.
And every event, everything that we do, Juneteenth, the Women Inspiring Women, that's coming up in November, a free event for the community. You know, all the stuff is free. You know, it's like how before we had, thank God now, you know, we get some grants.
Mhm.
But however, all that money was coming out of the Howard family's money. You know, the Wendy Cheesecake Bakery money and Howard family money. And, you know, all of those, we do the Women Inspire Women, we do the Phenomenal Woman event, we do a financial literacy workshops for the communities. But all these events are free,
Right.
but they, you know, but finally, thank God, I've had some people that God placed in alignment.
That's what he is going to do.
That's what he going to do.
He going to make it
And
away.
say, Miss B, you need not to do that. Y'all need to not come out of y'all pocket. Let us help you see how we can. And that there is not the crab mentality. Is if you see, like we said earlier, if you see a place that you can help a person, help them.
Yes, amen.
That's what we do. We're supposed to be a part of helping. That's the extended hand. That's what God does
Right.
for us. He has us here on this earth to help others.
Absolutely.
Not just yourself.
Not just yourself.
And like you said earlier, when you help others, you get blessed.
Absolutely.
And I've been blessed more than ever in my life by
Right.
doing what I'm doing.
Right.
But with that, I'm telling you, and some people, they when they want to do something with me, they don't understand this. God has to tell me what to do, and I have to do it His way.
Right.
So it's like, I hear you, but if we can't do it this particular way, because it's about respecting people, it's about loving on folks, and it's just not an event.
Right.
You know, it's something. It's the spirit to feed the spirit, the mind, the soul of a person.
Right.
It's not just having an event.
Right.
No, that's not what we do.
Right.
So I want to ask you, future, what do you see, or what do you want? What are you manifesting in the future at this time?
So I'm manifesting multiple restaurants.
Come
I want
on.
to franchise Wise Choice. I believe in Wise Choice.
Yes.
I believe that Wise Choice is here to stay.
Come on.
I believe that what the product that we have is amazing.
Mhm.
And the love that we are putting out into the food.
Mhm.
I have, like I said, I have children, and I told my kids, hey, you could run this one, I could run this one.
Yes.
And, you know, we could just keep it going.
Yes.
You know, I absolutely want to see myself in a food truck so I can do more
Come on.
pop-ups.
That's what we want.
Yes,
we want to do the
do
food
more
truck.
pop-ups.
Yeah.
So I see a lot for Wise Choice. I see that Wise Choice has, first of all, it has a ring to it.
Y'all heard it here on Believe Radio. Y'all gonna be like, oh, yeah, she did an interview. She told Miss B. Yes,
Yes.
Sister B. Yes, we go ahead, sis.
We're looking at another location as well. But we're not going to speak on it too much.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Absolutely, that's something that I've already manifested. I've already prayed on it.
Got it.
God has already spoken to me.
Mhm.
I've already been putting in the work to do what I need to do. But God just told me to sit still. So I'm sitting still.
There's seasons.
300 Broadway, Jack London. We're going to be there. We're not going nowhere. We have struggled a little bit because we are attached to a bar, and Halftime has not been open, and they've not been open for a year. So just a testament of how God worked and made it doable.
Yeah.
Right. I'm in Jack London. I have maintained myself for an entire year. My staff, I've been paying my rent. I've been, you know, staying afloat. And so I just give all God the glory, because without the bar being open, honestly, I didn't think it would happen.
Right.
But God did.
Yes, He did.
And so the fact that He did, and the fact that He continues to speak to me, because He does speak to me, I'm just going to sit still and continue to do the God work that I can. It's several things that I've done contributor wise to other people. I don't speak on the things that I do, because it's not for anyone to know. But I'm a giving person. I will give as much as I can. I've tried to feed the homeless at times. I've tried to do things. Everyone doesn't need to know. Your right hand needs to know what the left hand is doing. So with that being said, my blessings come from blessing others. And so, Wise Choice is here.
Hey.
Going nowhere.
And then let's go back to that 300 Broadway and that significant of that,
The
the three.
So ironically, when you came and I told you someone else wanted to do an interview, out of the clear blue sky, this young lady named Diana. Hi, Diana.
Hi, and thank
She,
you.
She just came in one day to get some food, and she was like, I want to do a podcast. I do a podcast, and would you mind coming in? I said, absolutely. Why not? And so she came in, and then right before you came in, another young lady came in. I think it was called the Black Tour Restaurants or something.
Wow.
And she wants to do an interview with me as
Look
well.
at that.
And then you came in. And so it was like, wow, the threes. And that's when I shared with you. And then you said to me, but look where you at. You at 300 Broadway. The threes. And what did you say they were?
God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yes.
When you said it, it gave me chills. And I said, wow. And so now that I notice everything that I see that comes with threes.
Yes.
It gives me affirmation and confirmation, like, okay, God, I see you.
Yes.
So
even in the still, even when he told you to be still,
right,
he's still speaking, but not it. That's what we have to. We're also trying to get our families and our community to understand God speaks more ways than one.
Absolutely.
Through people, through affirmations, through all music,
yes,
through all types of stuff. You just have to be in tuned, and that's going to be my next thing about self-care. What do you do for self-care? But how do we begin to just listen to our bodies and our minds and our spirit? Because this is what we are here. We're spiritual beings.
Absolutely.
So we have to start loving on ourselves. We have to start loving on others. We have to start understanding other people's pain and the disappointments and the trauma. And and I love that Gigi says this, and I work for NAMI Contra Costa, and it's the mental alliance of good Lord, the National Alliance of Mental Illness. So the executive director for NAMI Contra Costa, Gigi Crowder, and happy birthday to you too, Gigi. It's your birthday today.
She's amazing.
Yes.
I just want to let you know, I heard her speak at the Fred Hammond concert.
Yes.
She was amazing. She spoke to my entire spirit. So
wow.
Yeah, she has a prophetic attachment to her. I don't know if she knows that yet, but I know she's doing the good deed for the mental health. But I think God is working through her tremendously. So
wow.
Yeah.
And I tell you,
Gigi.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Gigi. And what she often says, she shares with the staff, mental illness is an illness. It's not the person.
Right.
So don't look at them. That's something wrong with them. It's an illness. So what happens with an illness? You treat it,
right,
or you try.
Right.
So that's the beauty about what I love, how she operates and how she moves, is that, what we're trying to do in the communities, as we say, we're here as a resource. We're here as, that's why she also created with the CalHope, the African-American Uplift Program. And we utilize lived experiences, African-American approaches, and community-defined strategies. NAMI Contra Costa is the first African-American centered non-clinical support program. So we connect you to resources, faith groups, the young men, the young women.
And I just want to reiterate. You said non-clinical, because a lot of people
come on now, let's go.
They hear the mental and they think it's clinical. You have to go through these, diagnoses. But the fact that you guys have a resource, I just love it. It's amazing.
Yes.
However I can support, let me know. Wise Choice would definitely love to be a part of that situation.
You already with it when you with me.
Look. I know, but I'm just letting you know.
You.
But I love it because the resources is everything, and that's what we need. Because I think that we turn our backs on a lot of the folks who have mental health. And she said the C word, and I didn't understand what she said. And she was like, yeah, because they not that, they're not crazy, you know, and they're not. They just need to be loved on a certain way. And again, I think in the African-American culture, we have suppressed a lot of our trauma, and a lot of those traumas that have been suppressed come out to the surface as an adult in some way, somehow, and they're looked at, and they're just titled and kind of pushed to the side.
And and there is a mental illness, and then there's a spiritual and your wellness. The society only George is a physician assistant, so he often talks about they only want to how he does it, like the neck down.
Mhm.
You know, want to take care of you the neck down. No, it's from the whole
Right.
mind,
It starts in the mind.
right in the mind,
In the
everything. You know,
The
so
mind is very powerful. Whatever goes
come
on
on.
in your head is what you will tell yourself.
Yes.
So I always tell my kids, like, you know, I've always said it.
Self-talk.
I know all the time. And
Yes.
since I've been a little girl, I always say I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be a millionaire. And my family used to look at me and start laughing. I'm like, watch.
You
I'm
sound
gonna
like
be-
me.
I'm telling you, I kid you not. You can ask any one of my siblings.
I
I've always
believe
said,
you.
I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be rich, and I'm gonna have everything it is that I want. I didn't know how I was gonna get it, but I
That's
just
right.
knew. And so what I say, I spoke that into existence because I felt it. So I always felt that I was wealthy. I always felt that I was, you know, even when I wasn't feeling well, I tell myself, I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm fine. You know, you
Yes.
got to tell yourself these things.
Psychologically.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And I'm also a life coach for the 180-degree program. So it's social emotional learning, self-awareness, self-development, social awareness, and responsibility. So now they're bringing this back into the schools. But when 180 had it out and was trying to get into the schools, oh, they had problems with it.
Right.
But now they're finding out there's social emotional. You have there, you all of that goes together.
Right.
And what I would do was really prepare the kids for life skills, professionalism, and how do you act in your class,
Right.
and how do you learn. So that was my part of as a life coach to do with them. They use my I was in Piedmont Elementary, Fruitvale Elementary, Lafayette, and there's one more I can't think of at the moment.
And we need that now. Let me tell you, because a lot of these kids now are being diagnosed with ADHD.
Come on.
They tell you to go to the doctor. They get you an IEP, and the first thing they want to do is give you medication.
That's right.
Okay. And so there are situations where, because my son was diagnosed, and I'm not going to lie, I fought tooth and nail about getting my son on medication. I said, no, he doesn't have an attention deficit disorder. He just doesn't want to pay attention, or he's just not engaged.
That's what the Freedom School is about, to show you a different way, a different form of how we look. Freedom School.
And we need resources, because honestly, I want some information now, because I definitely feel like my son needs it. But one thing I can say is that there are programs out here people don't know about. TBS is one of them, and that's what I used to put my son in. It's called Therapeutic Behavioral Services. But again, let's be honest with you, when they did have a counselor come in and it was a Caucasian lady, I said she wouldn't understand my son. Culturally, we
what we got over here, we have over here, it has to be it's a African American centered approaches,
right?
You know,
and
you
that
have
makes
to
a big
understand.
difference.
It makes a big difference,
because when this lady came in and she was trying to work with my son, she didn't understand how I raised him, and she didn't understand how he was taught. So there was a clash there. And so I would say, you know, I need an African American, and we lack that. There's not a lot of them who are in that department. There's not a lot of men who do this type of work. And my son, I felt at that moment, needed a male figure in his life. You know, so
I have some connections for you,
I
sister.
Know you do.
Not only that, it dealing with that, but just like you said, some men to be able to be into these creative space. That's brother Denzel. Then we have Darren. Then we have the Hidden Geniuses Project, and then we have the Kingmakers. So there's other brothers that I know, and then the Village Keeper, Village Connect.
Right.
So there's I get
resources
it.
Out
there's
there
resources out there for our
people. We just have to know where to go to get it.
Exactly.
And I love that you guys have this for platform. And so
yes.
Definitely need some information.
Okay.
Myself, but look at God. We came here to talk about wise choice, and we talk about mental health. But I love.
But it's all connected.
It is connected.
It's connected. It's the journey of telling a story of, and then that's how our families move forward.
Yeah.
Is the resources, the information, people sharing information.
Absolutely.
You don't get it to hide it, to keep it for yourself. You get it to share with others and help them elevate.
Ironically, so I have turkey chops on my menu.
Okay.
Right? And turkey chops is hard to find. So I was in the restaurant and someone said, well, where did you get them from? So I told the man where he got them from. He said, well, you shouldn't have told him where you got them from. I said, why not? I'm not here to keep anything from anyone. I'm here to help. So at the end of the day, it's enough money. He can go get 1,000,000 turkey chops. It's still not going to stop what God has for me. What he got for me is for me. So I just said all that to say, don't hide your resources. Give them out, you know.
That's right.
And I try to give it out as much as possible. You know, my
That is
door is
right.
open to anybody that wants to come learn and you know, and figure it out. I've given people platforms. I've even allowed, you know, a couple people to do a pop-up at my restaurant.
And
Not because I just, you know, needed them. It wasn't even, I didn't even charge, but it was
Mhm.
just to show you this is what it is. I never worked at a commercial kitchen before I got
Mhm.
into that kitchen on 14th Street. I
Wow.
want you to know everything
Mhm.
was new. I didn't even know how to turn on a stove.
Right, right,
I
right,
didn't know what
right.
the sinks were.
Right.
You know, you got 3 compartment
Yep.
sinks. I didn't understand what any of that was.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to have
One
learned
to
that,
wash, one to rinse, one
you know,
one
when
to
to
soak,
disinfect,
disinfect,
you
and
know what
then
I
one
mean?
to
So
rinse.
I didn't know any of that. So I don't have a problem with
Mm.
helping others because I guarantee you what God is going to bless me with by helping others is even more than what I can imagine.
That's
So,
right.
and I love that you said, you know, we're going to try to help the community as much as possible.
Oh, we
You
we
know.
have something coming for y'all too.
Yeah.
So just be aware
Yeah.
that there is at 300 Broadway, there is going to be a lot of things going on, and we're going to collaborate. And BH Brilliant Minds is going to be in the house
Absolutely.
and bringing other folks to make sure that we get some things for our people,
Absolutely.
for the community,
Right.
you know, and making sure that we're heard, seen,
And understood.
and understood and moving more.
Yeah.
So with that, boy, time flies when you're having fun. I'm gonna have to
Right.
have you back on this doggone show again. It's like
anytime. Anytime.
So with that, I want to ask you about self-care. What are you doing now for self-care? Because I know tonight we going to the J Red
right.
comedy. Hood. What is it? Comedy is hoodish and holy. The hoodish, the holy's in the, right.
I love it.
So we gonna laugh tonight.
Right.
And matter of fact, it's in a couple hours. We got to look, go Superwoman and go change our clothes and go to that. Me too. But so with self-care, what do you do for self-care? And then we're gonna let you say the final word. I'll share some thank yous and all that.
So for starters, with all the stuff that I've gone through, I did seek therapy.
Yeah, and
therapy was
the Bay Area
vital.
Black psychologists, and that's what I want to also say. So they're one of my resources and connections. Mm-hmm. So Bay Area Black psychologists, pull them up, folks, too. But go ahead, sis.
I love it. But therapy was absolutely one of them. And going to God. Because without God, I wouldn't be here. So that's my self-care.
Yeah.
I listen to the word. I play it on my phone every morning. I give myself affirmations. And of course, you know, the little things, get our hair done, our nails done, you know, a little massage here and there.
Right.
Because you got to love on yourself. And just splurge on yourself. You know, you don't have to wait on someone to do it for you. You know, I wasn't in a relationship.
Yeah.
I just got in one not too long ago.
Oh, congratulations. Girl, pray for my husband. My husband coming my way.
Right. You know what you did? I want you to know you prayed that day.
Yes.
And it didn't happen, but yes.
Oh,
yes, you did. So I want you to know that it happened so simultaneously. That's why I said you don't know what you did, but you did a lot. You did a lot. But I'm in a situation where I'm happy.
Oh my God, this is so beautiful because we know what we just talked about, and now it's
just like that. Because
wait
you know
a minute.
What you said, the two minds get to come together, and we. Like no one has ever done that for me. For me not to have known you, like I don't even want to get emotional, but you were just so. God just put it in your heart to do that, and I just thought that was so awesome. You are an amazing soul. You and your sister, you guys pray for me, and I haven't had that. My mom used to pray for me all the time, and so when she passed, I felt like I didn't have that. So that was something that was lacking in my life. And you came in that one day and it made a big difference. So I just want you to know I am so thankful to you. So yeah, self-care.
Good Lord Jesus.
Everything. But yeah, God is good.
Yeah, he is.
God is good.
And the stuff that he has in store for us.
Yes.
You know, he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
He's gonna bring it to pass. And I believe it. I trust him, and I know he is going to do it. And I'm so honored. We're so honored. Yeah. This is what living to me is about. Right. This is why a part of why I woke up today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And us being able to connect and us being able to share this information. This God is he's good. And our ancestors, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good. Yeah. And today we're on the show. We're on the show on the corner, the Cafe Le Bleu Lounge. She who believes takes off the mask. God needs us to take off these masks and be ourselves and be transparent and be real. My father taught us he he said the best you could be is your authentic self.
Mhm.
People may not understand
Right.
at the moment or whatever. Be you, not disrespectful,
Right.
not hurting people or trying to beat them up or trying to tear them down.
Mhm.
None of that, but just be you.
Be authentically.
Be
you.
authentically you.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what makes us unique and
Right,
different and
right,
special.
Right.
So, oh my God. So I'm going to let you close us out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just imparting words, encouraging words to our community. You've already done that.
Yeah.
But whatever you want to say.
I just want to say, whoever is in a situation where they feel like there's no way out, there is. I was in domestic relationships, and it's no joke. And if
Yeah.
you don't heal yourself,
I've
you're
been
gonna
there too.
continue to gain in the same relationships over and over again.
Yeah.
And domestic violence could look like a lot. It could be verbal, it could
Let's
be
go.
physical, it could be, manipulative, it could
Yeah.
be controlling.
Oh
So
my God.
it's more ways. And I just say, whoever is in a situation where you feel like you can't get out, you got to get out.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself. And God is good.
Mm.
Believe in yourself. Don't settle.
Don't settle.
Don't settle, because what's out there for you is more than what you can imagine. You just got to manifest it. You just got to want it. Put it out to the universe, and put your best foot forward every time you walk in the door, out the door.
Wow.
As I try to make sure I look presentable
Hey.
every time. I don't care if I'm at work. Okay, I'm gonna be dressed. I'm gonna look a certain way.
That's right.
Because first impressions are everything.
Mhm.
But you got to look good. You look good. You
Yeah.
feel good.
That's right.
You feel good. You look good. So
Mhm.
you got to put good out to the universe to get it back to you.
That's right.
And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Wow.
So
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, you have heard the owner and the founder of Wise Choice 300 Broadway in Oakland, California. Please, please, community, support this sister. The love that you hear on today is what she pours into her food. And we're grateful and thankful to have this opportunity. She will be back. And as we say, stay tuned for much, much more. You have been here with us on Believe Radio, which is a 24-hour inspirational and gospel music station. The Eyes of the Conscious Soul brings to you the Cafe Le Blue Lounge, the Artist Talk, Why I Dream, She Who Believes Takes Off the Mask, the Medicine Hour.
Lord Jesus.
Education is the best medicine.
Mhm.
The Lights Out Straight Talk Youth and Young Adult Radio Show, and Voices That Care. And every one of these programs God gave to me, and I wrote them down. And we've been having them for over 20 something years. We added new ones, but we've been doing this. And I tell you, he's absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for tuning in to She Who Believes Takes Off the Mask. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Inspire somebody else. Inspire yourself. Encourage yourself.
Amen.
Give yourself affirmations and love on you.
Amen.
We love you. We appreciate you. Have a good night. I want to thank my sponsorer, Pastor Larry Austin of Elevate Gospel Ministries. And then we have Miss Barbara Howard Consulting, BH Bring Your Minds Project, Inc. And also, I forgot to share that Pastor Long is having a workshop at True Faith Baptist Church next Saturday. Please, please tap in, go on the website, go on his Facebook, go on their Instagram, and pull up. He's doing something very, very special next week for the women, and letting us know who we are in Christ, and we are rubies, and that's not your ordinary ruby. We are something special. So please, please go and tap into that. We love you. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Be safe over this weekend. Drive careful, people.
Right.
Please.
And
Please.
love on somebody.
And love on somebody.